All right. All right, we're back. Thank you very much. Sane and sound ideal. I believe it is the point of this inventory. It is a spiritual point of this inventory. I have been showing up a certain way in romantic relationships that is not working, that hasn't been working for me or anyone else, hurting people. God, I need your help to help me show up a different way. I need your help to help me show up the way you want me to show up. Sane and sound ideal is a point of this sex inventory. Again, if that is not your experience, I just humbly ask for the remainder of maybe this session or maybe this workshop, just set that aside. The beautiful thing about setting aside, it's so beautiful, I just put it on the shelf. I didn't go with it, put it on the shelf. I give some time, I try a new way. If this new way becomes a new truth, beautiful. If it doesn't, I pick up what was on the shelf and I continue with it. Beautiful, just set aside, okay? So, sane and sound ideal. No more yellow. We subjected each relation to this test. Was it selfish or not? In pink, please, a prayer. We ask God to mold our ideas and help us to live up to them. That's pink. Remember, all prayers and promises and meditations we're doing in pink. We ask God to mold our ideals and help us to live up to them. Again, prayers all over this book. I am praying throughout this thing. Okay? No more pink. We remembered always that our sex powers were good, were God-given, and therefore good, neither to be used lightly or selfishly, nor to be despised or loathed. Whatever our ideals turn out to be, in yellow, grab the yellow highlighter, the important statement highlighter. Please highlight from we must be willing. That we must be willing to grow toward it. Continue in yellow. We must be willing to make amends where we have done harm, provided that we do not bring about still more harm in so doing. All that in yellow. Okay, so I'm not at the amends stage yet, but just a little foreshadowing exactly. So when I'm making amends, especially in the romantic relationship area, but in any area, I don't make an amends if in making this amends is going to cause more harm. Again, I'm not going to be the judge of that. I have a sponsor. I run things by my sponsor. I pray to see if is that the case or not, right? So one example in this area is romantic relationships is I don't know, like you hear a lot. If two people, a couple, maybe married couple, someone's making an amends. It's talked about in amends pages, right? And one person has committed adultery, throughout the marriage, right? So it says in the amends page later on, should we tell the person? Well, maybe not. That's between after prayer, meditation, consultation with the sponsor. Maybe the direction is, do you want to change? Are you willing to change? You're not going to do it anymore? Then you telling your girlfriend is going to devastate her, maybe who she is, right? So we're not going to, again, if no one's to be the arbiter of that, through prayer, meditation, solitude, sponsorship, and this work, it's revealed. Okay, that's one example. That's, for example, there could be many examples. Okay, so no more yellow. We're at the bottom paragraph there. In other words, we treat sex as we would any other problem. Any other problems, I treat it just like I treat sex in this way. In pink, please. In pink, please, the rest of the paragraph. It's a meditation. It's a prayer. In meditation, we ask God what we should do about each specific matter. The right answer will come if we want it. That's a meditation. It's a prayer. Okay, so now, before we go on to the rest of this chapter, just quickly, I want to share just quickly one thing. Okay, with sex and there you go. So you could just do this yourself. I'm gonna email this. Kuna has put it in the chat. He'll do it again. All the big book directions from beginning to the end, whenever this workshop finishes, and also all the inventory sheets. This is the sex inventory sheets, exactly like the big book. If you see here, so. Number one, where had I been selfish, dishonest, and considerate? We put it in one question. What I heard, unjustifiably aroused jealousy, suspicion, or bitterness, I put it in one question. Had I been fault, what should I have done instead, right? So now, sane and sound ideal. This is the instructions. This is what I have found best. So after completing all the sex inventories, we use the answers to question 5, which is what should I have done instead? but this is going to be emailed to you, okay? So don't worry about writing it down. As a starting point to write a sane and sound ideal for my future sex life, romantic relationships. Okay, so I use that question. If I have 5 romantic relationships I've written inventories on, I have 5 answers to 5 questions of what should I understand. I use those answers in meditation as a starting point of my sane and sound ideal. As the big book has directed, I pray and meditate. God, can you please show me? Can you please shape this sane and sound ideal for my future romantic relationships? Now, if I am in a romantic relationship currently, so I have been of the lineages that we recommit to the first 9 steps once a year, once every year and a half, once every 2 years. So I've been loyal to my wife, right? I've been married, coming up to 11 years of marriage. So it's my romantic, sane and sound ideal for my current relationship with AFC moving forward. Okay? So it is important to remember that this ideal, this is important now, okay, is not about what I want in the other person or about what the relationship should be like. I have met some men that they have believed or they've been taught that the sane and sound ideal kid. So now you write down, what do you want in another person? Oh, I want a person who's spiritual as well. We can take long walks on the beach. This is not the dating game. Well, I'm not giving God a list of I'm not giving Santa a list of attributes I want a romantic partner, okay? I want a relationship which is calm and peace and we pray together. That's not what this is. I'm not saying that's not good. So there's programs out there, visualization and prayer. Please do them. Amazing. That's not what this is. That's not what I've been taught, okay? This is simply another way to if someone is confused, what is a sane and sound ideal? Okay, let's just keep reading. I think it's here. It is about how I need to show up in a relationship or in my current relationship moving forward. So a sane and sound ideal is the best way to ask myself is, okay, this is how I've been showing up in black and white. How would God want me to show up in romantic relationships moving forward? Or my relationship with my wife from today forward? How would God want me to show up? Me. It's about me, inside out, not about the other person. It's about me, inside out. As always, before approaching the sane and sound ideal, I say a prayer. So I'm like, God, please mold my ideals, help me live up to them. Okay, so that's a little, I think that was important to touch on, sane and sound ideal. And I pray about it. By the way, I have, as part of my prayer rituals and meditation rituals every morning, there's certain set prayers that I have. One of them is the sane and sound ideal. I need help to show up in that way, in a selfless way, in a relationship with my wife. This illness is too powerful for me. It's rooted in myself. God has to be in the middle of this relationship with Afsi and I. If either God is everything or else this marriage will become nothing and I make it nothing, and then I'll blame her. I am a good case maker. I build cases for people to make them wrong. Okay. Now, listen, I'm not saying people are people. Everyone has ego. Everyone gets blocked off. It's not even reasonable or correct to say one person is 100% at fault. But this is not about fault. This is not about I am wrong and you are right. We are transcending the world of right and wrong. This is about the realm of the spirit. I need to grow in understanding effectiveness. I'm walking with God now. I've learned a new language that I try to speak more fluently in the 10th step in this work now with you guys helping me. My relationships, whatever capacity in my life, including my wife, Afsi, how they end up, the experience that I have is my responsibility, 1000%. 1000%. That's the kind of spirit I want to bring up to this. That's the kind of freedom. How much of God do I want to know? I'm responsible 1000%. God, show me, help me be better. And I fail at that a lot, and that's okay. God doesn't make too hard terms for a broken soul like me. Now, when I take that stand, let me tell you, I am more free. I am more lovable. I am more at peace. And if God sees fit that the partner that I'm with no longer serves the purpose he has for me, he will make it abundantly clear. I don't need to worry about being a doormat. I need to worry about that kind of stuff. I need to worry about boundaries. I need to worry about being taken advantage of. I'm a servant, man. It will be made abundantly clear. This person is poisonous. Let's part ways. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. All right, okay, so let's get back. That was a tangent, sorry. Okay. Where are we? Okay. Oh, okay. So sane and sound ideal. So in middle of page 69, one more note for the new person, so we're very clear for them. We have highlighted, remember, sane and sound ideal, and we have made a circle around it with pen. So from that circle, sane and sound ideal, if you would please put a line to the right margin. If you have some room in the right margin, that would be fantastic. Please do that. I'm sorry. To the bottom margin, Yeah, please bring it to the bottom margin, little thing, and we're going to write at the bottom margin across. Okay. So I hope we can fit all this stuff here. Let's see. Okay, this for the new person, right? But you guys will have the sheets as well. So please write this right at the bottom margin. Make sure there's lots of room. Write small. Write 2, 3, 4 lines maybe. After writing all sex inventories, comma. Oh shoot. Okay, no, that's good. Okay. After writing all sex inventories, comma, use all answers to last question, which is, we don't write this, but that's what I should have done instead, right? So after writing all sex inventories, use all answers to last question, comma. After writing all sex inventories, thank you, Kristen, for putting in the chat. Use all answers to last question, comma, pray and come up with sane and sound ideal. Pray and come up with sane and sound ideal. This instruction isn't the template, just in case. Pray and come up with sane and sound ideal, okay? After sane and sound ideal, put a bracket, try to fit it there somewhere, whatever margin you can. The last thing I'm gonna write is put a bracket. Please write in those brackets, how would God want me to show up in relationships? How would God want me to show up in relationships? I hope that was clear. Sorry about that. How would God want me to show up in relationships? From the beginning, last time, after writing all sex inventories, use all answers to last question, comma, pray and come up with sane and sound ideal. Bracket somewhere there, which the brackets after that means this is what sane and sound ideal is, how we're looking at it. How would God want me to show up in relationships? Okay, how would God want me to show up? Beautiful, sounds good. So God alone can, we're reading now, God alone can judge our sex situation. Counsel with persons is often desirable, but we let God be the final judge. We realize that some people are as fanatical about sex as others are loose. In yellow, reiterate again, very important. Again, look what it says. We avoid hysterical thinking or advice. We avoid that. We avoid hysterical thinking or advice. Okay. You are not allowed to date for 5 years in Alcoholics Anonymous. Hysterical thinking or advice. You are not allowed to date for the first year. Hysterical thinking or advice. Notice, I also give you an example at the beginning where the Spirit guided that after a few years, that was the advice I gave, suggestion I gave, right? But to say to someone new, you're not allowed to. If you do this, I'm not sponsoring you. In my experience, hysterical thinking advice. Nothing wrong with sharing my experience. Hey, listen, so-and-so, you like that girl? Just a suggestion. You may want to hold off till we get through the 12 steps a little bit. You know what I mean? You do what you will, my suggestion, you know? But I'm not giving anyone a hard line rule. Okay, rigidity is the prison in which my soul dies in. In yellow, Suppose we fall short of the chosen ideal and stumble, okay? So now, sex inventory is written, ideals been revealed, right? So I have an ideal. I want to be honest. I want to be loyal. I want to be caring, considerate, whatever, right? Suppose I fall short of this with my wife and I stumble. That's in yellow, normal yellow. Does this mean we're going to get drunk? Some people tell us so, but this is only a half truth. It depends on us and our motives. If we are sorry for what we have done and have the honest desire to let God take us to better things, we believe we will be forgiven and we will have learned our lesson. Okay? In yellow, please, the rest of the paragraph, this is the important part, in yellow. If we are not sorry and our conduct continues to harm others, we are sure to drink. Please continue in yellow. We are not theorizing. These are facts out of our experience. Okay. So, Mr. Newcomer, do I have to be perfect? I don't. But God doesn't make too hard terms. As long as I clean it up, I try to be better, God will reveal. I will stay sober. But just like any other area of life, in this area of romantic relationships, if I continue to harm others, I'm sure to drink. Facts out of our experience. I think one of the traditions it talks about, right? We don't have policemen in Alcoholics Anonymous policing. You have to abide by this tradition. You have to abide by this spiritual principles, because alcoholism is the greatest policeman herself. If somebody veers too much about spiritual principles, they are sure to drink. Same with here, right? They're sure to drink. Okay. To sum up about sex. Now they're going to sum up about sex. Please grab the pink. It's now a prayer, another prayer, beautiful prayer. Okay. We earnestly pray for the right ideal, for guidance in each questionable situation, for sanity, and for the strength to do the right thing. Highlight all that in pink. Please put a little arrow to the left margin, write long ways or however you want. Sex prayer. I mean, you could say, right? There's 3 kind of prayers in this thing, but this is the most comprehensive in these couple of pages. Sex prayer. It's a sex prayer. I use that prayer. I use it in a lot of different areas of life, my life at times. Okay, sex prayer. So if you grab the pen, please, we're going through the pink that we highlighted again. We're going to number things, okay? Here, they ask us to pray for 4 things, okay? We earnestly pray for the right ideal. Above right ideal, please write the number 1 and circle it. I pray for the right ideal. For guidance, above guidance, put the number 2 and circle it. Little circle right above it. So guidance in each questionable situation. For sanity, above sanity, number 3, and I circle it. And for the strength to do the right thing. Above strength, right, number 4, circled it. They asked me to pray for 4 things. I can memorize this prayer. I can voice it. The wording doesn't even matter, as the big book tells me, right? As long as with conviction from my heart, I talk to God a lot. God, I'm broken. Can you help me on this one? I'm a little afraid. I don't know what I'm doing. Right? God doesn't make too hard terms. Okay. Perfect. Very nice. In yellow now, the next 1, 2, 3 sentences in yellow. If sex is very troublesome, we throw ourselves the harder into helping others. I'm telling the new person now, right? We think of their needs and work for them. This takes us out of ourselves. In yellow, finish at out of ourselves. So, if sex is very troublesome, look, just like any other area in life, throughout this book, it's been peppered, this message. My freedom comes from my desire to take some actions to be of service to this loving power and his other kids to the best of my ability. My freedom from self, from the situation, right? Sex is no different. So when sex is very troublesome, when a newcomer is obsessing over some girl that he met over the coffee pot and they exchanged smiles and pleasantries and he's in love, and he's already made babies with them, right? And married. Throw yourself into helping others, right? In my life, Afsi and I got separated. A couple of times, by the way. This beautiful, deep, loving marriage, a couple of times almost ended. God had different plans and design. He doesn't make too hard turns for broken souls like me, like us, right? So One of the times that we were separated, man, my brain, it was killing me and torturing me, right? Inventories, prayer, talk to my advisor. I would meet newcomers in coffee shops and take them through the big book, and I would feel at peace. All of a sudden, all my problems were so magnified, they become right-sized. And I'm able to act more kindly towards my wife, to be more loving in a marriage that wasn't working. Why? Because of an attempt to get out of myself, help someone else. Okay. Now, somebody who's at this stage, let's say they're newer, they may not be at the 12th step, but there's many different ways that we could try to serve others, right? Many different ways, and we all know about that. Okay. So no more yellow. It quiets the imperious urge. When to yield would mean heartache. When to yield would mean heartache. I throw myself, helping others, helping others. Helping others is the foundation stone of my recovery. The reason this workshop is here, so we can help others more effectively, more efficiently. Everything about this program is about helping others. My relationship with God has deepened. I'm talking about me, okay? Has only deepened the way it has compared to where I was a few years ago as a result of my desire to try to serve others. That's it. That's it. And I've walked this program pretty ugly at times. People that are close to me know it, and I try to share it too. I try to share it too. So last paragraph. If we have been thorough about our personal inventory, we have written down a lot. We have listed and analyzed our resentments. We have begun to comprehend their futility. Question mark after futility. Please write the whys next to the question marks in there. Futility. Have I, Mr. Newcomer, after writing these inventories, and maybe I'm just giving him directions. He hasn't written the sex inventory yet, but up to now, are you starting to realize the futility of these resentments? And their fatality, question mark. The deadliness of it. We have commenced to see their terrible destructiveness, question mark. Has it been my experience so far? And a Y close to the question mark somewhere there. We have begun to learn tolerance, patience, and goodwill toward all men, even our enemies, for we look upon them as sick people, question mark. Again, where does me? Maybe at this stage, not so much. I haven't done a fifth, but a little bit. Okay, just where does it meet you? To any degree yet? We have listed the people we have hurt by our conduct and are willing to straighten out the past if we can. Okay. In pink, please. Promise. In this book, you read again and again that faith did for us what we could not do for ourselves. Promise. Continue in pink. We hope you are convinced now that God can remove whatever self-will has blocked you off from him. Pink, promise. Okay, no more pink, please. If you have already made a decision and an inventory of your grosser handicaps, you have made a good beginning. That being so, you have swallowed and digested some big chunks of truth about yourself, question mark. After writing these 4 inventories, have you swallowed and digested at least some big chunks of truth about yourself? I have. I usually do. Okay, so okay, beautiful, fantastic. So those are the there are 3 inventories into action now. We're going to interaction. There are 3 inventories in this big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. 3 inventories that I have been taught. Okay. I'm not saying any other interpretation is wrong. Okay. So remember, we are out of the world of right and wrong. That's the third dimension world. That's the world of the isms and the ego. I want to stay out of that. I'm in the world of what works and what doesn't from my experience. What has been working more effectively? What has been working less effectively? Okay. So 3 inventories: resentment, fear, sex conduct inventory in this big book. Some friends have the experience of there's a 4th inventory, which is a harms done inventory. That's not my experience. Harms done inventory is the immense, it's step 8 list. Okay. It does ask the question in the sex inventory, who might I hurt? And some friends have interpreted that, okay, everyone that I've heard harms done inventory. That just hasn't been my experience. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It hasn't been as effective when I've done it that way. 3 inventories. Harms done is a step 8 list. There's a way to do that as well. Harms done is a step 8 list. So again, not the only way, just, all right. So before we go on to the next few pages, actually, so before we go on to the next few pages, just wondering if there are any questions regarding any of the inventories for today's session. No comments, please. No comments yet. I'll stay for an hour, hour and a half, hour after for any questions and comments. So any further questions, any questions at all? Any questions at all? And then, so, and if you don't have any questions, we're gonna, okay, perfect. Okay. All right. Barb, come on up, please.